What if one bullet was fired at you, not just at your body, but at your voice, your right to exist, your right to dream? Would you be silenced? Or would that very bullet become the reason your voice is heard around the world? This is the story of Malala Yousafzai. Story that proves sometimes the very thing meant to destroy us becomes the reason we rise. Malala was born in Pakistan's Swat Valley, a place of breathtaking mountains, but also of deep cultural restrictions. For many girls, their school was not a right, it was a forbidden dream. As a child, Malala loved learning. Her father ran a school and encouraged her curiosity. But when the Taliban swept into her valley, they brought a brutal decree. Girls must not go to school. For Malala, that wasn't just an order. It was an assault on her very identity. She began to speak out, first anonymously, then publicly. She wrote blogs, gave interviews, and told the world what was happening to girls like her. She became the voice of millions who had been silenced. But voices that challenge power are dangerous. On October 9, 2012, as Malala rode home from school, a Taliban gunman boarded her bus. He asked for her by name, and then he fired. A bullet pierced her head. For most, that would have been the end. Silence forever. But for Malala it was just the beginning. Miraculously, Malala survived. She was flown to England, underwent surgeries, and slowly recovered. The world watched, waiting to see if she would retreat into safety, into silence. But instead, Malala emerged stronger. She spoke louder. She stood taller. She declared, "They thought that the bullets would silence us, but they failed. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage were born." She continued her fight for education, not just for herself, but for every child denied the right to learn. In 2014, she became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate in history at just 17 years old. Psychologists call this post-traumatic growth, when a person not only recovers from trauma, but transforms because of it. Malala's story is a masterclass in resilience. Instead of letting trauma close her down, she reframed it into purpose. Experts on resilience often say, "What breaks some people builds others." The difference is how we choose to interpret our suffering. The bullet wasn't just an injury, it became Malala's amplifier. The very act meant to silence her gave her platform, credibility, and unstoppable resolve. If this were a parable, it might sound like this. A young girl carried a candle into the night. The wind tried to blow it out, and when the wind grew violent, it thought it had finally killed the flame. But instead, the spark leaped, spread, and lit thousands of candles around her. The wind had meant to bring darkness. Instead, it awakened a wildfire of light. Most of us will never face a gunman, but all of us face moments when life tries to silence us through failure, rejection, fear, or doubt. The question is, when life fires its bullet at you, will you retreat into silence? Or will you let that moment awaken a louder, stronger version of yourself? Because the truth is, the world doesn't just need your comfort. It needs your voice, your courage, your contribution. Malala reminds us that courage doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you speak even when fear is present. Malala Yousafzai's story shows us that the voice of one courageous soul can echo louder than the weapons of hate. So here's my question for you. What is the bullet in your life right now? The challenge, the rejection, the fear that's trying to silence you? And what if, instead of letting it bury you, you used it to rise louder, stronger, and more alive than ever? If Malala's story inspired you, hit like he, so more people hear it. Share this with someone who needs courage today. And don't forget to subscribe for more modern parable stories that awaken something inside us. Stories that remind us that one voice, even yours, can change the world.